Hey, Sean. This is the replay review. Now, what I see you wrote down about this replay is it was a tough Warlock game. You felt like you're always out of position. You never got a good ult off, and you wanted to hide better from the NS, but you're not sure how. So we can take a look now before hopping into the replay itself. Just checking out the scoreboard here. One thing that I immediately noticed, well, apart from obviously quite low net worth for a 40-minute game, but that's partially due to the deaths, is that you didn't disassemble your mana boots for oops, that's not yours. Yeah, your mana boots for the Holy Locket. Right, looks like you bought the energy booster here, then you bought another energy booster for the Locket, and that's definitely an issue because, well, first of all, it slows down your Holy Locket a lot, which means that it also slows down your shard. Now the shard is a huge part of what makes Warlock strong, right? Like turning the spell into AoE not only increases your team fight presence massively, it also allows you to wave clear, right? Combined with the talents that you took for Shadow Word. You didn't get to the level 20 talent, but you know, the duration, the cooldown, the damage and the heal. Now the duration talent honestly is not that big of a deal compared to others, right? Like 10 seconds is plenty. You don't really need 12. But the cooldown and the damage and heal are pretty good. The Golem of Death is also nice, but you know, you can consider both. Because if you do have the damage heal talent, you don't really need to die in the first place. And yeah, it's kind of a cascade, right? Like, first of all, you gotta prioritize the shard over the Locket, but it's just a combination of things, right? Because you don't disassemble the mana boots, the Locket comes later, the shard comes later, and you basically don't have the shard for the majority of the game. And before even watching, I can tell you that the shard will lead to you staying alive, because it sort of allows you to precast the heal on yourself and your team constantly. Between the heal and the move speed, it's gonna be much more difficult for a Night Stalker to right click you down, especially looking at the items that he went. Yeah, the hero hits hard, but he went for very defensive items. Doesn't really have any damage or anything. Doesn't have like a nullifier, right, to deal with defensive items. So this combination of things definitely ends up not working in your favor. And again, the Holy Locket, the point of the Holy Locket is to boost the healing of your AoE Shadow Word. If it's not AoE yet because you didn't buy the shard yet, then there's also no point in boosting that heal. Clicking the heal on yourself without the shard sucks because, well, you potentially keep yourself alive, not as well as you would with the shard, but you're also then not really helping the team much. But you know, if you pre-click the Shadow Word on the whole team before the fight, that's really strong. It actually has, if you take both the cooldown and the duration talent, it actually has more than 100% uptime, right? 12-second duration, 10-second cooldown, which is pretty sick. Again, also, if you bought the shard before the Locket, you would be able to farm the Locket quicker. And with all those things said, let's hop into the replay and see what happened. Now you have kind of an interesting lineup. Warlock, Spectre is very strong lane, although it is quite defensive. Sick late game, but you know, on the lane, you can't really get much done. I'm gonna just fast forward through the lane stage, see if anything stands out, really. So the thing with Warlock is just have crazy good stats, 24 strength at level 1, 3 strength per level. You're naturally quite tanky, so it really shouldn't be difficult to also stay alive against NS throughout the game. Unless you're having a terrible game, basically. Something that you can already notice, potentially an issue with your build, starting build, is that so notice how you start with 6 tangos, salve, 1 mango, and 2 fairies, right? First of all, salves aren't very good to cast on allies, right? They got nerfed, so heals for half the amount. So you're buying this for yourself, but you're a hero that has the heal already, right? Then you also have 6 tangos, so it just seems like really, like you yourself definitely don't need this much regen. All you really need is mana, so the Basi is nice, but why not start with the Basi then, right? Or at least with the Sage Mask. Why do you need all this? Like, look, you're out of mana, but you still have 5 tangos and a salve left, right? So that part doesn't really make sense. The other part that doesn't make sense is leveling upheaval on the lane. Like, sure, you slow them, but so what, right? When is the spell strong? This is like a heavy, like, control kind of spell, right? Where you get a lot of slow. Because it's lingering, it's on the ground, you can't dispel it. That's a pretty strong aspect of it. The way to think about upheaval is it's similar to, for example, kinetic field, right? Which is like an AoE barrier. It's similar to Puck ulti to an extent. And what it means is, like, it keeps enemies in place, but if they don't have a reason to run in the first place, then what's the point of keeping them there, right? Like, you slow these guys, but does NS care that he's being slowed right now? No, he's just farming. He's getting baskets, so he doesn't really give a shit that you're slowing him. And is Spectre gonna be a threat? No. This is strong when, again, enemies need to have a reason to run, right? Like when it's a Spectre that has some items, you know, pops ulti, illusions are hitting everybody, they don't want to tank those illusions, they're fatal bonded, etc. There's a golem. That's when the slow is valuable, but not on the lane. So you gotta skill fatal bonds instead, because this spell allows you to get a lot of damage in, right? The way it works is you link the heroes to the creeps. It's really nice because it's 6 targets from level 1. So 4 creeps, 2 heroes, perfect. Everybody's linked. So it means all the damage that you or your creeps do to the enemy creeps, 12% of it will also be dealt to the heroes, which is super nice. It means, quick maths here, right? 3 times 550 is what, 1650? This becomes 1950. So the 4 creeps together have 2000 HP, give or take, right? So to kill all 4 of the creeps, you need to do 2000 damage. 12% of 2000, 240. So just by clearing the wave, these guys will take 240 damage from one spell, which is so good. 25-second duration. The creeps will die within 25 seconds for sure. It's really, really good. So definitely take Fatal Bonds level 2 or level 1. You could take it level 1 even. It's arguably better level 1 than the heal in some cases. And skip the upheaval early. Also buy more mana regen, not so much health regen. When your hero already gives heals. Again, look, you're out of mana, but you're full HP and you have all this, all these health regen items on you. It's pointless. Your job on the lane is to spam heal on Spectre and Fatal Bond. Like, that's all you do, and occasionally right click. And this is another issue. Like I mentioned, your hero is very tanky. You have the exact same HP as Spectre right now. You have more HP than a Tusk, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Okay, not more, almost the same as Tusk. But that's a strength hero, right? And he has magic wand. 800 HP, but right now he has 700 though, so actually you do have more. You have 800, 750 after the first hit. So why even run here, right? The correct player is to just click him back. Your Spectre's coming in as well, and you can just click him back. Yeah, I don't know about this, sorry, but again, if you had the bonds here, you could bond everybody. Yeah, guys would actually win the man fight. The problem here is you run all the way back, too scared. Now Spectre takes all the damage. Right, and again you heal him, so it's all good. Then you upheaval, just right click instead of upheavaling, right? Like the slow did not do anything because they don't need to run. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to kind of repeat myself, so let's fast forward. I think we covered most of the stuff. We talked about the lane. Okay, here they go on you. You can see that when they try to burst you, you can't. Actually, you were fine. You could easily survive here, but you stand still to channel the upheaval instead of running. Maybe you thought the upheaval does damage, I'm not sure, but yeah, just pop the heals. You got the fairy, eat a tango, and walk it off, right? They can't really chase. They've used all their spells. There's no more tag team. There's no more anything. Night Stalker's out of mana. Void's on cooldown. When the tag team is gone, the damage is not that big. So, and you're regening like crazy. Also, if you ate a tango, you would be. You could just run straight to the tower and you would be okay. Yeah, keep putting points in upheaval. That's definitely bad. Like this build, early upheaval, it can work if you have, first of all, you're against the weaker lane that can't really fight back, and you have a very strong carry. So, for example, if you have like an Ursa or a Monkey King carry, and you're up against like a Tide Hunter or something, then you might consider early upheaval, because all you gotta do is keep him in place. Ursa gets a bunch of Fury Swipe stacks, and you can run him down. But definitely not for a lane like this. Spectre rotates. Now you're not sure what to do. Just grab that sweet experience. But this is so funny, man. Why? At least right clicking back. Honestly, like he stood there tanking the tower and right clicking you for so long. Look at that. You're channeling this for over 5 seconds. In 5 seconds you could have right clicked him at least 3 times. Like again, you're probably still gonna die because he commits ulti, but you can make him work for it. Like again, I'm just really not sure what you thought the upheaval does. Now you consider going bottom. Go mid to get some XP, that's good. But you guys are actually winning the early game. Your Bloodseeker's owning, so yeah, this was definitely like your game to lose if this guy has a 6-0 start. Holy shit. Carry Alchemist, 50 net worth, like that's a disaster for the enemy. At this point, you should be thinking, it's 12 minutes, I have 700 gold, you're probably gonna need to save up gold for the shard. That's what you should be thinking. Because you're probably not gonna have the shard. If you buy mana boots now, you're probably not gonna have money and time for the shard at 15. Buy the mana boots anyway. People get caught here. Bloodseeker. Did he really aggro the neutrals? Okay, Bloodseeker fucked up the mines because he aggroed the neutrals to the mines. That sucks. Now he can't recover into them. Then he kind of goes on a feeding mission. Still, if you wanted to commit to this fight, it looks pretty bad because 2 are dead already. Alright, Spectre, Rubik are already dead before the fight even starts. If you want to commit to it, you can. You can just drop the rock right now and get the heal off from Bloodseeker. The cast range on the Golem is massive. Look, you can easily drop the rock here and it's gonna stun everybody. So it's not like you don't have time to do it. You can also click heal on Bloodseeker, but you just kind of panic, and then the NS is already too close. And then you drop the rock as you die. But Bloodseeker's out anyway, so it's like whatever. Definitely not a successful first rock. Also, your ideal target for the golem is Zeus. You could easily get this creep wave with the golem, but you stop microing it. It's very, very good at killing creep waves. But you have to micro it there. You want to hit Spectre. Again, what you should be thinking now is, oh, my ult's on cooldown, I have 0 items, I'm basically useless. Better get some items so that I stop being useless. Alright, because here, literally just walked around and you fed the Zeus. This is the part where, and this applies not just to Warlock, but to a lot of supports, you have to consider being a support doesn't mean you need to run around with no items, first of all. Being a support doesn't mean you need to run behind your cores. To be a good support, you need to have impact. You need to do something. You need to... Like, enemies need to have a reason to focus you over your cores when the fights come in the mid and late game. A reason beyond, like, oh, he's gonna click his ulti. So, when you have nothing, you help your team more by taking some farm. So you don't become a liability with 0 items. And you might be thinking like, oh, but I don't want to take farm from my cores. That's what a lot of supports think. You're not taking it away from your cores. Look at bottom lane. Are your cores farming this? No. It's too dangerous, right? It's right next to the enemy tier 2. Bloodseeker doesn't want to be there. Spectre doesn't want to be there. I mean, he shouldn't be here either, but whatever. So that's where you go, right? Because if you take 2-3 creep waves and then they gank you and you die, who cares? You got money in the end. You're gonna have way more gold when you do that a couple times rather than just die in your own jungle. So you don't want to fall into this trap of being too defensive, stay on my side, heal my Spectre in the jungle. Like, that's useless. Here, you TP to heal Spectre, but like, he needs to farm. You don't take his XP, just apply some pressure, right? This is, again, it's such a... Okay, you get 1 D-ward, but the Sentry was already there, could do it himself. To support your cores, you don't want to sit behind them, you want to sit in front of them, right? Take the attention so that like enemies go on you instead of on your cores. I'm really not sure why I don't heal him here. This is like, he's obviously being gone on, so just drop a heal as well as the rock. The rock is okay, you just gotta make it focus the Zeus. It works out. You even get the kill. But you don't heal the Rubik. And then you also don't heal yourself. Like, this is actually like very big chance you survive if you press the heal. I'm not sure why you don't. And this is the first Fatal Bonds I've seen this game, but you use it when there's just one guy, right? The spell doesn't actually do anything if there's not more than one target. So that's pretty strange, yeah. I'm pretty sure also that you might remember this from our coaching. It must be written in the Google Doc as well. Don't react to your enemies, make your enemies react to you. So again, #1 mistake, lots of low level supports do. I'm just gonna sit behind my cores and wait for the enemy to do something. That is not supporting. You're not helping your team this way. Make the enemy react somehow, right? Take their attention, push the bottom creep wave. Again, this lane has been empty for so long. What's going on here? Like, Techies is not farming it. Oh yeah, sure, he placed the mines, but shove a lane, man. Get some items and make them run after you. That's how you contribute. That's every time they kill you instead of your allies, you help your allies because you reveal where the enemy is. Here you got a decent ulti, but you didn't fatal bond anybody, right? Just click the bonds. They have more range than the ulti even. Just click the bonds. It's gonna be so much damage. You actually would have helped your team get some kills here. Tusk probably would have died to the initial bombs if you pressed to the initial nukes if you press the bombs. Yeah. Also, this was the time to actually use your upheaval, because you might have slowed down the Zeus enough so that your golem can finish him. Despite not having items, this was the first major fight opportunity you had to have a big impact, potentially to kill somebody. So, Bond's ulti Bond's, whatever. Bond's ulti is ideal because it's most damage, but sometimes you cannot. Ulting is more priority, but definitely Bond's after the ulti at the latest. So ulti, Bonds, and then upheaval. Yeah, you're low, but who gives a shit? You used all your spells. You're already 1 in 5 anyway, your lowest net worth, so who cares if you die again, if there's a chance that you kill the Zeus, right? And he just clicked his bolt, so you cannot cancel your upheaval. He just bolted you, that's why you're low in the first place. Fatal Bonds, upheaval, right click the Zeus with the golem. There's a big chance that he dies. The golem does a ton of damage. It has bonus pure damage, so it's very, very scary. And the Zeus will probably die. Fast forward. Yeah, we haven't really got into the late game, I guess, but already we can see. Also, right here. So your ult's on cooldown, right? Use it in this fight. Let me pause right here. Your whole team is dead. You have no ulti. What business do you have here? Well, like, basically just AFK for 30 seconds, waiting for your team to respawn, and you do nothing. Right? You dug up one mango, and that was basically what you did for a full minute here. Now you take like one creep wave, but let's see. This was the moment to TP bottom. A full minute where you could be farming bottom and finishing your shard. So you have to be more proactive as support, take more farm, have a bigger impact. Forget this idea that being support means not having farm. Oh yeah, again here's where the disassemble would come in very nice. You would have the locket by now, but again you should have the shard sooner as well. Here you are just out of position, right? This has nothing to do with NS or getting a good ulti or not. You cannot approach through the river like this. Yeah, NS is one of the better heroes at punishing this, but it could have been an Axe, it could have been a Centaur, it could have been a Sand King, it could have been a Tide, it could have been any other hero that easily blinks on top of you right here and just stuns you, disables you, then there's with the minimal follow-up you die. Right, so this has nothing to do with NS, this has to do with you approaching through the river. You cannot approach through the river like this. The correct move, okay, you see they're going on your Bloodseeker, ults on cooldown for 7 seconds anyway, go like this. My mouse should be visible. Go up the stairs and approach from here. Because you don't see anybody, especially not this area. And if this guy's jumping aggressively, chances are he's getting back up any moment, right? Let's see. Here, was that a defensive golem? Okay, that was definitely bad. I mean, I'm sure you realize that as well, but first of all, solo golem on Tusk, bad idea. Your team is right there, you're gonna kill him anyway. Holy shit, he has Aghanims, that's some massive cast range. Second, you even missed him, right? So you end up not getting the kill. Oh, I really didn't lift him, but yeah. So that was definitely a very, very bad golem. I guess you realize that. This is the first time, 25 minutes, the first time that we see you going bottom A and B farming a lane solo for a little bit. Alright, let's watch one more fight. Again, this is something that should have happened way sooner. It's just you taking some fun. Right now there's some action going on top And you're running there, but why, man? Why? Just think about it. Your ult is on cooldown. Your only items are mana boots and locket. What are you going to contribute to this fight? Not contributing anything. Like one fatal bounce, but that's not worth it. It's not even maxed out, right? This is the part to stay bottom and finish your shard. And actually the shard, again, I am talking about it so much for a reason. Like, it's big part of the reason why Warlock is actually so strong, right? Like, why? Because it gives the hero huge impact outside of his ulti, right? If you have the shard with the lock, I mean, even without the locket, if you just have the shard and you're sitting there spamming Shadow Word on your team, it's really, really strong. It gives move speed and heal. It makes your hero have an impact in the fight. It slows enemies, also gives AoE damage. It's a lot of things. Also with shard, yeah, like I mentioned, allows you to wave clear. So we can see what. Okay, you pressed heal on the Rubik, but it died anyway. Could try to lock him there at least. Fatal Bounce on a single target, again, that doesn't do anything. You gotta wait till there's more enemies around. And overall, you did nothing in the fight. And that's no surprise, because you're also cooldown, you have no items, right? Alright, so I think we can... Okay, like one final fight, sure. One final fight where you do have ult. So here you just got caught. Again, has nothing to do with the heroes really. Like Tusk was actually the one who jumped you, not NS. It's not even that bad of a thing. If you felt like it was necessary, you could buy back for that because it's right at your tower. Bloodseeker solo dives and just feeds here. That's not, again, even if you if you bought back, you were alive there, it wouldn't really change much. Spectre still farming for next game. Here you smoke, I guess with the idea of being able to get the rock off, but your team is dead, so there's not gonna be no fight. There's no point smoking when 3 of your allies are dead. You wanna smoke and take an advantageous fight, and it's not gonna happen if you don't have teammates alive. And once again, you guys are just waiting for the enemies to get ready and get something done. Okay, here's the smoke, but everybody's scared to go in. Bloodseeker should, but... So, anyway, even though they're jumping you, again, it's a horrible fight. They're the ones initiating, they have the high ground. I don't see NS jumping you, right? So, plenty of opportunity to get the rock off here. Once again, though, it's a single target bounce. So it actually doesn't do anything. And why not? This was like the perfect opportunity to use Upheaval. Like we said, how useless it was in the early game, where it was the only where you used it so much. Okay, think about it. This guy just died. He just used his BKB and he died. He's gonna take 5 seconds to respawn. That's 5 seconds that you can channel your Upheaval perfectly from the safety of your tier 3. Doesn't see you, there's high ground, your ult is already down. The most epic opportunity you're ever gonna get to use the spell, right? He's gonna, if you channel it for 5 seconds, that's, you could do the maths here, it's 17 per second, so 85% slow. Okay, the max is 70, whatever. 70% slow, basically is not gonna move, it's gonna be slow to the minimum. He has no BKB to get out with, and Bloodseeker's just gonna right click him down together with your golem. Again, opportunity doesn't really get any better than this. Just click the Upheaval. but you forget to do it, and that allows him to run away. His ult was even on cooldown, I think, so yeah, Bloodseeker could easily right-click him down. So yeah, I guess we can end it here. Quick summary, again. On the lane, use Fatal Bonds, not Upheaval. Start with more mana regen, start with Bassi, not so much health regen when your hero has a heal already. Buy the shard ASAP at 15 minutes, and if necessary, that means don't buy anything else. Then buy the locket after the shard. Disassemble your mana boots in order to build the locket. After the locket, you have plenty of luxury options, you know, more defensive shit, Force, Glimmer, Pipe, Solar, whatever, utility. You could go Ags, Refreshers and stuff, of course. Super late game, maybe Aeon Disc potentially, but you need to be very farmed for that to be worth it. And yeah, the whole point of the hero is Shard, and you basically play the whole game without Shard due to your choices. Don't stand behind your team, don't chase your carry that's farming in the jungle. They're farming, let them do their thing. If you want to help your Spectre or whatever hard carry farming in the jungle, make an aggressive play, make the enemies go on you so that they're not ganking your carry, instead of standing still behind your carry and waiting for him to get ganked. That's not what you want. You want to keep them busy. How do you keep them busy? By pushing lanes and getting farm. Leading us perfect to the next point. To have an impact, to be useful, you need to have farm. You need to have more items, more levels. So you need to take some lanes. Go to a lane, farm it, push it until it's dangerous. Even if you die, no big deal. At least you're going to have items, right? Because you didn't do that once this game, and you still have 12 deaths, right? So if you're going to die anyway, you might as well get some farm in the process so they can be more useful and stronger in fights. Alright, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, message me on Discord, etc. And we can also do some live sessions.